We made it. It's day 12 of my Christmas recipes with spilling the sweet tea, and my last recipe of this series is a hot cocoa trifle. To get started on this trifle, you just want to make some boxed chocolate cake. I'm using this one. You just want to empty your cake mix into a large bowl. Anytime I'm making a cake using boxed cake, I always level it up by adding an additional egg and using milk instead of water. So I'm going to add in 4 eggs instead of 3. And I'm also going to add in milk instead of water. And then I'm going to add in the amount of oil that's on the box. Nothing changes with the measurements. You just want to add an extra egg and use milk instead of water. I guarantee you your cake will taste much better. If you really want to level it up, you can add in a box of instant chocolate pudding mix. This cake was going in a trifle, so I didn't find that necessary. All you want to do is spray your cake pans and then add your cake batter just like this. These are 9-inch cake pans, and I'm just going to use 2 of them. If you want to make your chocolate cake from scratch, baby, you can. I just didn't have the time. This is a quick and easy dessert that you can make for a crowd this holiday season. The next thing I did was just bake my cake on 350 until they were done and allowed them to cool. Now the fun part of this video, cooking with my daughter, Maya. Maya is 9 years old. She will be 10 next month, and I am so proud of her. She has been cooking in the kitchen with me since she was a baby, and we love cooking, especially around the holidays together. To prepare to build your trifle, you want to put out some mini chocolate chips in a bowl and some mini marshmallows. Now that your chocolate cakes have cooled, you just want to take them out the pan and you're going to cut them into cubes. Anytime Maya is in the kitchen with me, I ask her to watch exactly what I'm doing. I wanted to show her how to use a serrated knife to be able to cut this chocolate cake into perfect size cubes. I am so grateful that my mom took the time to show me how to cook. My fondest memories of her was in the kitchen. If you follow me for a long time, I've talked about how I watched her make her biscuits and also make peach preserves, pear preserves. So to be able to pass on my recipes to my daughter is amazing. Here I'm just showing her how to properly pass someone a knife. Anytime we cook together, she says, "Mom, can I try?" So I always let her try so she can do it herself, but I want her to watch me first. I also try to guide her while she does it, just to give her some tips and tricks. So when she does it on her own, when she's older, she'll remember her mama taught her exactly how to make it. I can tell you right now, you do not appreciate those life lessons that you learn from your parents until you get older. And honestly, until you have your own children. I appreciate my mother and everything that she taught me in the kitchen so much more. And look at my girl go. She even knew she had to turn the cake so she could cut in the opposite direction. Last holiday season, we ended up making hot cocoa dip together. So what we decided to make last year inspired this year's dessert. I love that Maya is taking her time and making sure she's lining up everything so she makes the perfect cubes. I was definitely nervous giving her a knife, but she has been doing really well with handling butter knives, and I'm standing right here to make sure she's a-okay. It is my opinion that anytime a child asks to try on their own, that you should allow them to do that so they get a chance to experience it themselves. I was doing a little happy dance right here because I was so proud of her. I told her she got it from her mama because she definitely did. After your cake is cubed up, you just want to give everything a taste test and then add it to a platter so you can build your trifle. I know I'm not the only one that tastes food as I go. I got to make sure it ain't poison. Before we made the filling, we took a little break to do a TikTok dance. I am many things, but one thing I'm not is a dancer. This is a rhythmless nation over here. Anyway, back to the recipe. For the filling, you're going to need 8 ounces of cream cheese, and you're going to need 1 cup of marshmallow fluff. Maya and I are literally making up this recipe as we go. We have a little bit of inspiration because I have a red velvet trifle recipe in my cookbook Memories on a Plate that is very similar to this, but I wanted to add the marshmallow fluff because this is a hot cocoa trifle, and folks love some marshmallows on their hot cocoa. After you add in your marshmallow fluff, you then want to add in some Cool Whip. The amazing thing about this recipe is that most people have the majority of these ingredients in their home. Marshmallow fluff is not something I have on hand. So this is really the only ingredient that I had to buy from the store. Everything else was in the refrigerator. Baby, I keep a box of cake mix in my pantry because I never know when the Holy Spirit is going to hit me and I'm going to want something sweet. After you add in 1 cup of marshmallow fluff, you want to go ahead and add this whole tub of Cool Whip. As I was creating this recipe on the fly, I only added in 1 cup at the time, but then I came back and ended up adding the whole tub. Now you want to add 2 packets of hot cocoa mix. If you want more of a hot cocoa flavor, you can absolutely add more. Other thing you could do is add some peppermint extract to this filling, and then you would have a peppermint hot cocoa trifle. My daughter loves hot chocolate and hot cocoa. She is not a fan of peppermint anything, so that's why I didn't do it in this recipe. But you can truly make it your own. You can even add some crushed up peppermint if you want. So this is where we did our taste test, and once we tasted the filling, I decided it needed more Cool Whip. I wanted to teach Maya that as she's cooking, she needs to taste her food, because if it doesn't taste exactly how she wants it to, she can always add more. So that's what we ended up doing here, using a whole tub of Cool Whip. Now my girl is just mixing everything up. Look at her in the camera by herself doing her thing. Did you notice at the beginning of this video, I was holding the bowl for her, and now she's holding that bowl by herself? My girl has already made progress. Go ahead, Maya. And that's it. That's how you make this filling. It's so easy to make. Of course, I had to give my girl the beater so she could taste it for herself. I remember doing this so many times with my mom when I was a kid. All right, now it's time to build your trifle. You just want to add in that cube chocolate cake. I always add the middle of the cake to the middle of the trifle bowl and the round corners of the cake to the outside of the trifle bowl. It's honestly like putting together a puzzle when you're making this trifle, because you want a complete layer of cake at the bottom. It did not take long for my girl to get the hang of it. She was searching for those round pieces so she could make sure that the sides were filled in properly. And baby, we kept tasting as we built the trifle. I snuck so many pieces of this chocolate cake. Chocolate is one of my weaknesses. Once you have that first layer down, all you want to do is add your cream cheese and Cool Whip mixture. You want to be very careful so you don't mess up the size of the trifle bowl. The beauty of a good trifle bowl is it looks well organized. It looks neat and not messy. That is the true definition of a beautiful Southern trifle. I sped up this part of the video, but I'm really trying to take my time to make sure I get every little corner covered, but I don't make a mess on the side of the bowl in the process. This looks good to me, so the next thing you want to do is get out some chocolate syrup and make a swirl just like this. And you want to add in those mini chocolate chips that you set aside and those mini marshmallows. You want to get those mini marshmallows that are perfect for hot chocolate as opposed to the larger ones. You want the ratio of marshmallows and mini chocolate chips to be about the same. So if you get those other marshmallows, it's going to be too much marshmallow. Now all you want to do is repeat the process. Add chocolate cake on top of that Cool Whip and cream cheese mixture. This gives you a better viewpoint of the pieces that we're using for the sides. It's a lot of prep work to make this trifle, but it's definitely easy to make. It's not hard at all. Just like the cutting of the chocolate cake, Maya asked me, Mommy, can I add the second layer on? And I said, yes, Maya, you can do it. I said, you just have to take your time and be careful. I let her know that a key to a nicely done trifle is that it's not messy and it's neat and organized. Can you tell my mama was a Virgo and a perfectionist? Even though I'm a Pisces, I still, when it comes to my cooking, I like for it to look perfect. So here's my girl adding the Cool Whip and cream cheese mixture into the trifle. She did a really good job making sure she didn't mess up the sides. I should have maybe gotten her a stool to stand on because it would have been easier for her to see. We had a couple mishaps, so all we did was just wipe it with a paper towel and we were good to go. At the end of the day, I just want her to learn, and I also want her to have fun and to create beautiful memories with her in the kitchen. She watches me and then wants to take it back so she can finish it. My girl is determined, and I love that about her. Once you have that second layer of cream cheese and Cool Whip mixture all smoothed out, you then want to add in more syrup, more mini chocolate chips, and more mini marshmallows. I did the first chocolate swirl, so this is Maya doing the second chocolate swirl. I'm just showing her how to do it. She was nervous because she knows that this chocolate syrup comes out pretty fast, but look at my girl go. She did an amazing job. You want to make sure you have your chocolate syrup concentrated in the middle of the trifle. You don't want it seeping down the sides because you don't want to mess with the neatness. The beauty of a trifle is that it's neat and organized. So again, you want to top it with those mini marshmallows and those mini chocolate chips. You would think this would be sweetness and sugar overload, but it honestly was not too sweet. You'll see me at the end when we taste this. I tell Maya, I was like, and it's not too sweet. I was pleasantly surprised at how this dessert turned out. The last step is to add your remaining chocolate cake on top. If you find yourself running out of room, all you want to do is just smush the cake down just a little bit. You're going to just add some plain Cool Whip on top. So you want to have enough headroom for that Cool Whip. So you can smush it down just a little bit, but not too much. Make sure you're saving some of those rounded pieces for the outer layer. The best part of making this dessert is honestly tasting the ingredients as we go along. Me and Maya snuck so many pieces of this chocolate cake. It was so good. The last thing you want to do is add just plain Cool Whip on top. And you can make homemade Cool Whip if you want. It's totally up to you. I'm just using the frozen kind from the grocery store. Top with more mini marshmallows and chocolate chips, and you've got a hot cocoa trifle. Look how beautiful it turned out. I thought it turned out so good. You're going to need all of these flavors to marry together, so you want to get out some saran wrap, cover it, and let it sit in your refrigerator for at least 2 to 3 hours. It was bomb the next day, so you can even make this a day before your event. or Christmas dinner and serve it the next day. It is so good, y'all. Like I said, I have a red velvet trifle version in my cookbook, Memories on a Plate. I will leave the link to my cookbook in the description of this YouTube video. The red velvet version is some kind of good. So if you love red velvet cake, you definitely need to grab a copy of my cookbook. This is what it looked like on the plate, and this is Maya and I tasting it for the very first time. When I tell you this was so good, look at my girl. Once she tasted, look how she looks at her mama. Like, girl, we did that. We sure did, my girl. We make a dynamic duo. And she even knows the tagline. What is it, Maya?
Spilling the sweet tea. Approved.
Period. Good job. Proud of you. My little baby. Chip off the old block. Thank you guys for watching and happy holidays from me and Maya.